Aloha and welcome to the 2015 Fall Palamanui Hoike. Would you all join us and stand for Hawaii Pono'i?
Hawaii Pono'i, Nana'i Homo'i, Kalali'ai, Keali. Makualani e Kamehameha e Nakawale wale Mekani e.
The first class that we'll be calling up is the Hawaiian Studies 107 class.
Our first presentation today will be from Hawaii Studies 107, which is Hawaii Center of the Pacific. Be calling up a handful of the people of this class: Kellen, Joy, Kamaile, Trina, Ian, Jason. If you didn't know about this course, this is actually a mandatory course if you plan to graduate from the University of Hawaii Manoa with a BA, as well as any Maui college schools, including West Oahu. So we offer this class 107 here on campus in person after many years of it being actually offered online. We're proud to present to you what we call the Aloha Aina timeline.
O Wakea Te Kane, O Papa Hanau Moku Kawahine. The genealogy of Papa Hanau Moku and Wakea begins with the creation of the Aina, the birthing of the Hawaiian Islands. Papa, the Earth Mother, and Wakea, the Sky Father, represent the foundation of our culture and the importance of Aloha Aina, which is the familial ties with the land. From this union is also birthed Ho'ohoku Kalani, the heavenly celestial bodies, and Haloa Nakarau Kapalili, the first kalo, a staple crop and the recognized elder of the Hawaiian people.
1819. Upon his passing, Kamehameha I leaves his throne to Queen Ka'ahumanu and his son Liholiho. During their reign, Queen Ka'ahumanu worried about foreign influence upon the people and subsequent degradation of the mana of the chiefly class. Convinces Liholiho to abolish the Aikapu religious system. She also orders that all temples and ancient gods be destroyed. When the queen places this command, the people of Hawaii no longer have a religious system in place. 1820. 1 year after Kamehameha's death, the abolishment of the Aikapu, the first Protestant missionaries arrive in Hawaii. They preach Oloho, everlasting life, to a declining population of native Hawaiians. 1822. Missionaries established the first printing of the Hawaiian language with 8 pages of a spelling book. This writing system is similar to a system that was established by the missionaries in Tahiti. After this first printing, King Liholiho sends Hawaiian educators throughout every district to teach the new skill of reading to the people.
1834. The first Hawaiian newspaper, Kalama Hawaii, is created at Lahaina Luna School. For over 100 years thereafter, Hawaiian language newspapers flourished in Hawaii and served as a vehicle for the recording of a huge amount of traditional Hawaiian literature, history, and culture. By 1841, Hawaii began its rise to one of the most literate, if not the most literate nations of the 19th century.
1845. Foreign concepts of land privatization and division is forced upon the Hawaiian monarch. Land for the Hawaiians is Aina, or that which feeds. The native perspective is that the land is the chief and the man is the servant. Therefore, one cannot own land or the resources upon the land that sustains life. Yet the missionaries of the time believed in order to preserve the Hawaiian race, the natives needed to accept Christianity, become more industrious, and most importantly, hold their land in fee. Thus began the great Mahele, or division of lands. The crown lands for the king and his heirs, the chief lands for the Ali'i Nui, and the government lands for the general public. 1850. The Kuleana Act provided opportunity for Native Hawaiians who cultivated the land the right and responsibility to be awarded a fee simple title, proving the land was theirs through survey, claim, or showing that their land earned money. Unable to participate in this costly process, many Native Hawaiians lost their lands to foreigners who understood the legalities of land ownership. The land awarded to the commoners through this act was only 8,421 Kuleana parcels out of 14,195 applications, equaling less than 1% total acreage of Hawaii. Thus begins the homelessness epidemic in Hawaii.
1889. Newly elected King Kalakaua publishes the Kumulipo, and in fortifying his claim to the throne, has court chanters perform the 2012-line creation chant at his coronation. The Kumulipo is the ancient cosmology passed down to the generations, honoring the beginning of the Hawaiian universe with the initial birth of the coral polyp. It recounts the origin of the world, the creation of all living things, and includes the genealogy of the Royal Hawaiian family. This chant reminds us of our familial relationship with our natural environment.
1893. Due to her efforts in establishing a new constitution, returning the rights of the monarch to the kingdom and the native people, Queen Liliuokalani is overthrown by the illegal provisional government consisting of American and foreign businessmen, many of whom descend from the first missionaries. In protest, the Queen gives the following statement. I, Liliuokalani, by the grace of God and under the Constitution of the Hawaiian Kingdom, Queen, do hereby solemnly protest against any and all acts done against myself and the constitutional government of the Hawaiian Kingdom by certain persons claiming to have established a provisional government and for this kingdom, that I yield to the superior force of the United States of America. Now, to avoid any collision of armed forces and perhaps the loss of life, I do this under protest and impelled by said force yield my authority until such time as the government of the United States shall, upon facts being presented to it, under the action of its representative, and reinstate me in the authority which I claim as the constitutional sovereign of the Hawaiian Islands.
1896. Upon the brinks of annexation, provisional government officials banned the Hawaiian language from public and private schools. Teachers are fired if caught speaking Hawaiian to their students. Children are harshly punished for speaking Hawaiian in schools. Even at Kamehameha schools, parents are not allowed to write in Hawaiian to their boarding children. All letters are opened and censored before delivery to the students.
1897. Hui Aloha Aina Hawaiian National Patriots create and circulate throughout the islands by foot, horse, and sail the Ku'e anti-annexation petitions. Upon the completion, the document protesting the annexation of the Hawaiian Kingdom is signed by 21,269 Native Hawaiian people. More than half the 39,000 Native Hawaiians and mixed blood residents of the islands.
1976. George Helm and Kimo Mitchell die in their attempt to save two Aloha Aina advocates occupying Kaho'olawe in protest of the bombing of the island. U.S. military began ship-to-shore bombardment of Kaho'olawe in 1941 in the name of national defense. In the late 1970s, the Protect Kaho'olawe Ohana was created to bring attention to the desecration of the very land that the government was obligated to protect. This Aloha Aina movement was one of many, forming the second Hawaiian Renaissance, which brought awareness to the people of Hawaii of our responsibilities and rights to the land. These efforts finally stopped the bombing in 1990 when the military was ordered to withdraw from the island.
1976. As Aloha Aina activists fight for Kaho'olawe, Mako'ea, Kalama Valley, and many other lands, the first non-instrumental voyage in hundreds of years from Hawaii to Tahiti is accomplished under Master Navigator Mau Pialu's expert guidance on the double-hulled voyaging canoe, the Hokulea. This journey helped to prove purposeful navigational migration and disprove theories of drift and accidental settlement. Mau Pialu, from the tiny Micronesian island of Satawal, was one of the last keepers of the ancient art of wayfinding. He courageously went against the taboo of sharing his knowledge and magic with outsiders and came to Hawaii to help Hokulea and her crew restore the ancient tradition. His generosity and expertise helped to revive the nearly extinct ancient practice for voyages of today, an art that for hundreds of years was passed down from generation to generation through Palamanui Hoike, and that is now currently guiding Hokulea around the world at this very moment.
1978. Before becoming governor, John Wahe'e helps to pass two provisions to the state constitution, one of which recognizes the Hawaiian language as an official language, thus supporting the revival of Olelo Hawaii, the Hawaiian language, after over 40 years of government ban. E ola ko Olelo Hawaii, may the Hawaiian language live.
2004. Maui community groups and Aloha Aina advocates petitioned the Hawaii Commission on Water Resource Management to restore the streams of Nawai'eha, the four great waters, which were diverted for more than a century to irrigate sugar plantations. The major water diverter was Wailuku Sugar Company, who reinvented itself as the Wailuku Water Company and used its water diversions to hoard the surplus of water and turn a profit. Water in Hawaii is a public trust resource protected by the Hawaii Constitution for the benefit of all Hawaii's people. Finally, in 2014, an agreement was reached to restore 3 of the 4 streams that once flowed from Mauka to Makai, giving native stream animals a chance to complete their life cycles and kalo farmers the ability to access the water they needed to cultivate the land. This case serves as a reminder that the state of Hawaii has the duty to protect and restore traditional and customary Hawaiian practices, ecological uses, recreation, scenic values, and many other public uses of flowing stream water to ensure the prosperity of the Hawaiian people.
April 20th, 2015. 53,000 people sign and deliver a petition to Governor Ige against the development and further desecration of Mauna Kea. 2 months later, TMT partners announced the start of construction, and 750 peaceful protesters prevent the commencement of the project, which leads to 12 arrests. Since then, at least 31 people have been arrested for protecting Mauna Kea in the name of Aloha Aina, love, stewardship, and protection of our familial ties to the land.
Mahalo.
This morning, we honor Kona. We honor the kupuna that came before we were in existence. So when you look at them and you dance while they're dancing, imagine the landscape that you see beyond and that beautiful dryland forest that once existed, and how blessed we are to be here at Palamanui today, a higher place of learning. So our hula class will share with you and dedicate their hula today to our place, Palamanui.
Lo kaya kulike olu olu kamanao ha kulana ahonia lanakila e o mai e Hawaii o ke aloha no Kameanui. E o mai e ka lehulehu, nā pua, nā lei, nā mamo. Ala mai e ka la hui laula kaulana, o mai e ka lehulehu, ha'aheo oi, e Hawaii. Ano ai, ke aloha. O kona kai o poi kalai. Pa. O kona kai o poi kalai. O kona kai o poi kalai. Iolo navai. Iolo navai. Ke kauhila I ke kukunala. Ke kauhila. Kume hana vale hoi. Kume hana vale hoi ia aina lohana kini a oho olulu. Kume hana. Kume hana vale hoi
First of all, I'll introduce myself. My name is Ian. I am a peer mentor here at Hawaii Community College Palamanui with the Kulukuluwa grant. With that, I'd also like to recognize a couple people that are here with us today. We do have Melanie and Kauluvehi from all the way from Hilo. We'd like to introduce them. They're from Yolohaloa. We also have Joni Nishi, our Vice Chancellor, as well as our soon-to-be intern Chancellor. Joyce Hamasaki, Dean of CTE. And of course, Dr. Marty Fletcher, Director of Palamanui. The next presentation we have is from Kate Sims, Professor Kate Sims, and she'll be introducing her student.
So I'm not going to say a lot. I'm going to leave it to my students to talk about what they've learned in their developmental English class. Introduce yourself.
Hi everybody. If you don't already know me, my name's Lee Hao, and standing next to me is my friend Aaron. And then we're representing English 20W, and this class teaches you the basics of writing, including grammar and essay organization and structure. This class is really fun, and it's great for like building skills and getting along and making new friends too. And another good part about this class is our teacher, Kate. One of the best teachers at Palamanui, I think so. She really puts in time to help each one of her students to succeed and get through all your work. And then give you a good idea of what we've been learning in class. There's a display table over there in the corner of all our essays that we wrote of assignment 3. It's pretty interesting. You guys should take a look at it if you want. And yeah, just see what we accomplished this whole semester. That's about it. Thank you.
If you haven't signed in and got your raffle ticket, go and see Auntie Kovehi in the back. Get your raffle ticket to win some prizes. And all our prizes today are donated from our students, with the exception of a couple CDs from Kumuka'ea. But next we'd like to introduce Betsy Morgan and her student.
I'm Betsy Morgan, and I teach English 100 here and other community college classes. And Reagan Leslie is a student in English 100 at the early college class at Konawaina High School. He's a junior at Konawaina High School. He's a full-fledged Hawaii Community College student. He was tasked to write a 10 to 12 page research paper with a lot of research in the University of Hawaii Library, peer-reviewed journals, books, and a personal interview, as well as an annotated bibliography, and he's done a beautiful job. His subject is the Hawaiian Cultural Renaissance and Hawaiian Wayfinding. And as we heard before with the Hawaiian timeline, this is a very timely subject because the Hokulea is on its epic worldwide journey using the Hawaiian concepts of wayfinding. And so I present Reagan Leslie.
I'll give you Hi, I'm Reagan. First off, I'd like to thank Betsy Morgan for being such a great professor and helping me out with a lot of my research paper. And of course, my parents, Tanya and Dustin, who are in the back in the audience. Thanks for driving me down. So, like she said earlier, I did my research project on wayfinding or Polynesian navigation. And I'll show you a little video of my interview with Chad Paishan. And Chad Paishan is he's a Po navigator. And Po navigator is pretty much a master navigator. Po is what you would be able to call as, it has the same meaning as a doctorate degree, but in navigation. So they're very knowledgeable and considered masters in their art, which is wayfinding. So I had the opportunity to talk to him. And one thing that I was really interested about was I wanted to know what he meant, that what wayfinding meant from him. What was his definition of it? And I was kind of surprised because my definition of wayfinding was when the observer is able to locate his home and his destination by observing his environment around him, such as the waves, the sky, the stars, the sun, the moon, ocean currents even. and even animals to find if they're close to land or not. And I was expecting him to say something around those lines, and the words I got out of him was knowing where your home is. And I was kind of stunned, and I was shocked that he actually said that at first. And then he came to me and he explained to me why. And I was pretty intrigued and interested about why he was talking about wayfinding in that way. And he was explaining how wayfinding, it is knowing where home is, as in knowing the environment above you, knowing the sky. As we all know, Hawaiians had very huge history with astronomy, as we know with Mauna Kea, and that's one of their Mauna Kea's topics, is that Hawaiians used astronomy. Yes, we did use astronomy, and we used it a lot, especially in navigation. And we used a lot of star families. Star families are like constellations that Hawaiians and other Polynesians used to navigate the oceans. And he explained to me how knowing where your home is and knowing what is above you, such as the Northern Star or the Southern Cross, if you're around the world, halfway around the world, you would be able to know where home is based off of the sky and what is above you. And so, can I have at least 2 volunteers from the audience? Anyone? Anyone?
One.
Okay, one. Would you like to do a volunteer? Okay. So I'm gonna. One more volunteer?
Oh, go.
Okay.
Why not?
So I'm gonna show you guys a few example of how you use wayfinding. So you're gonna be the Southern Cross, okay? The Southern Cross is we're gonna be showing you the star family Ka'iwikuamo'o. Ka'iwikuamo'o is considered the backbone of the Hawaiian sky, or even the sky in Polynesia, because it runs from the Southern Cross to Ho'okupa'a, which is Polaris, or the Northern Star. So can you stand over there? So I will be the equator. Stand over there. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I'm the equator, and here's the Southern Cross and the Northern Star, let's just say I'm the Hokulea and I'm standing on the equator. If a lot of you seen the pictures where Noah Thompson or other the navigators, they put their hand up like this. Everyone's seen those pictures on the internet? Well, that actually has a meaning to it. They're not doing it just to take a photo. What you're actually doing is in the night they're measuring the distance from the horizon to, let's just say, horizon is his shoulders and the top of his head is where the Northern Star is. So when I put my hand up and I reach I measure from where my thumb is to the horizon to the top of his head, which was the Northern Star. It will be the same exact distance as if I turned to the Southern Cross and did to the bottom star. The reason why is because you're standing in the middle of the Earth, the equator, and it should be exactly the same. But if you move to the south a little bit, the Southern Cross is above your hand now, and the Northern Star is a little bit lower, fading beneath the horizon. So that was one thing that he told me, that knowing your way home will be able to judge what latitude you are on Earth and be able to find Tahiti, for example, or Hawaii. So that was just, thank you. So there was many examples and ideas and techniques of wayfinding that you can use to travel the world. Another is the sun and ocean currents. As we all know, we live in the Pacific Ocean. As for the Malama Honua voyage out right now, it's kind of difficult to measure the ocean currents in the sun because, each ocean has different currents, so you're going to have to memorize the ocean currents before you get there. But for the first voyage in 1970s, when the Hokulea went from Hawaii to Tahiti as the first maiden voyage, they had to memorize the ocean currents of the Pacific, and there's 5. Northern, northeastern, eastern, southeastern, and southern. And how they use the ocean currents during the day is during the sunset and sunrise, when the sun is coming over the horizon or setting under the horizon. They watched the horizon and they watched as the sun came up, and they watched the waves and the rocking of the boat. So if they're facing south and they know that the current was coming from the east, the boat would shake horizontal. But if they're facing east and they're going again with the currents, the boat would tilt like this. So it was all basic things and techniques that they used at that time. So I'm kind of running out of time here now, so to show it off, I would bring, maybe play the video.
Really, for me, it's become for me that wayfinding is knowing where home is. Because knowing where home is allows you to go outside of home. It allows you to go very far. It allows you clearly to understand where your origins are, which lays the foundation for everything else that comes upon it. Wherever you may travel, wherever you may go, it's really that sense for us when we travel on the canoe, when we're out on the ocean, out in the middle of the Pacific, that it's always understanding where home is, that puts you in a sense of direction, where you need to go. So wayfinding for me has been that, probably at the base of everything that I look at. And there's a lot of techniques to help you define them and know where home is. So it's the development of all those techniques that get built upon that real basic foundation of setting your home base first. I think probably the basic of all the techniques that it really goes back to Mao. When we started learning from Mao, it was learning what's known as, he called it the Fafu, otherwise known as the star compass. And I know I helped to develop one called Kupuro Kalani, which is Hawaiian. But it's really in that sense of understanding and defining those areas on the horizon, that surrounds the canoe at that time. So it's really defining that horizon and knowing where the rising and setting points of every body, whether it be the stars, the sun, the moon, the ocean swells, so that you can understand and still hold the course, from home towards wherever we go. So basically the star compass itself, the Pafu Kalani, has 32 different houses, what we call them houses, because we define it in that sense, like just like you and I, and we live in a house, so we're stars.
That was my video. That was maybe about 1% of the amount of time the interview took. I told him it was going to be about 30 minutes, we ended up staying there for about 2.5 hours, so it was real. But it was a lot of fun. Before I ask for any questions, I just wanted you to know the reason why I chose this topic is because of just my lineage and where I come from. My family, as being a native Hawaiian, there's two sides. There's either farmers or there's fishermen. You're either a man of the sea or the man of the land. My family, we were the family of the sea. We fished. The Leslie family is a huge fishing family and known in the area. And I just wanted to know more about my lineage, about where I came from. And I thought this would be really a perfect place to start. And plus, I've always kind of enjoyed navigation and the stars. So I thought it was a really cool topic, and the fact that I'll be able to interview people that mean a lot to me is really why I chose this topic. So yeah. Any questions about wayfinding, navigation?
What is that process called when you're
That process, it's more of just that process itself. They use the same as color. Kaiwi Kuomo. That's they use the same as the star family. So like certain processes in the constellations, they name the techniques after the constellations. So they use the Kaiwi Kuomo to technique to know latitude, and they use other constellations like Ka'ua, Makali'i, something like that. It's kind of difficult to say. It has like a whole bunch of kahakos and stuff. But anyways, that one they use to show the what season it is. So like winter, summer, and everything. And they say, okay, do that constellation to check. So they just use the name of the constellation. Any other questions? Okay, cool. All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
Next, we are going to bring up Ann Kern and her speech class.
Aloha kako. I'm Ann Kern. I teach the Introduction to Speech and Communication courses. As an aspect of the public speaking component of my course, my students give both a speech to inform and a speech to persuade. Or sorry, but they do that, but we're going to hear speeches to entertain also. I'm thinking of persuasion because that's coming up next in my class right now. Now see if you can guess which purposes the following speeches are for. There will be 4 of them, 2 from each of my classes this semester. Here's Kealohi Wang, who is going to talk about the history of the typewriter.
Can you imagine doing all your homework, say for English 100, or any class, on this typewriter right here? With every edit you made to paper, you would have to rewrite that whole page. Can you imagine the roar of a business complex as typists or secretaries would write the day away? Though it's hard to believe, there was a time not so long ago when the typewriter was one of the most commonly used writing utensils. Within the span of 100 years, it revolutionized the workplace and home for men and women. Like the telephone or automobile, the typewriter was thought to be invented by many different people. Some say around 52 times and as early as 1575. However, the first commercially produced typewriter was a Hansen writing ball. This was invented by a man named Ramus Malling Hansen, which is a pretty cool name if you ask me. I thought it was a really cool typewriter because I've never seen anything like it. But there were some downsides. You couldn't see as you write, so essentially you're writing blind. So the first commercially successful typewriter was invented by a man named Christopher Latham Scholes in 1868. He sold his invention to Remington, who mass-produced it. In one of their advertisements, they called it a machine to supersede the pen. However, marketers at that time didn't really know who'd want a typewriter. Typewritten correspondence was considered rude, impersonal, and sometimes even forgery at that time. However, the key to success of the typewriter was the rising economy in the 1880s and its uses in business. Harper Weekly wrote, "The number of American men and women working as typists or stenographers rose sharply from 5,000 in 1880 to 300,000 by 1910. As well as the influence it made on jobs, it also really influenced the workplace for women. In 1881, YMCA in New York City offered a typewriting class for women for a chance for them to acquire higher paying jobs or more prestigious employment than factory workers or seamstresses. Salaries were higher
actually for typists and secretaries than they were for school teachers and nurses, two of the few middle-class occupations open to women. Even though the typewriter was revolutionized and changed so much of life in the 1900s, the decline of them was rapid when the computer was introduced around the 70s and early 80s. And it is understandable. I can't argue that computers are far more convenient and efficient than typewriters. Despite this, though, I feel there's still a wonderful magic to these creatures, a life that breathes beneath the clacking of keys against the pure white pages, or in the handle that reaches out to you like a familiar friend, or in this sound. And these can never be replaced, not even with the bright and personal face of a computer.
Now,
Can I add something there? Did you know that there's still a requirement that some forms at the University of Hawaii have to be typed? We're not totally there yet.
and maybe we shouldn't be. Now here's Brian Reyna on Channel 3, Palamanui Shopping Network.
Welcome to the show, you guys. Do you ever wake up in the morning feeling sad or down, like you have no purpose, or you just need something to help you smile in the morning? Well, I have a product here for you guys that'll brighten your day. Fruity Pebbles here. Excuse me, typewriter. This is not sold in stores. Excuse me. It is sold in stores. Okay. They're all staring at me. Okay. And why I have two microphones? The better option is not to ask. But going on to this, you see here, this is the best cereal out there. It's rice, it's fruit, it's neither of both. It's awesome. Now, we were asked to be more culturally sensitive to marginalized groups throughout the nation this season, so for the germaphobes at home, brought these just for you. All right, now we're all germ-free. We can open this box. So before I pull this cereal out, I must say we don't get lunch breaks here at the show, and I was really hungry, so I ended up eating all the cereal. Instead of Fruity Pebbles, I have regular Pebbles here. I think it'll do the job just fine. It serves its purpose. It's yummy, it's delicious, it's dirt, it's awesome. Now before, last episode, I showed how to pour a bowl of cereal, but I'm not gonna do that today because you don't need to know how to pour a bowl of cereal. If you don't know how, you can find it on Google or something. But this, we're selling this for 3 easy payments of $19.95. Actually, I'm gonna do you one better. You can do 19 easy payments of $3.95. And if anyone's good at math, don't do the math. Thanks for attending. I'm gonna go and eat this because I'm still pretty hungry. And also, I don't like cereal, but you guys should. It's awesome. For you, not me.
Now here's Miles Lugo with Tiny Glowing Screens by George Watsky.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mahalo.
There are 7,046,000,000 people on the planet, and most of us have the audacity to think we matter. Hey, you hear the one about the comedian who croaked? Someone stabbed him in the heart. Just a little poke. But he keeled over because he went into battle wearing a chainmail made of jokes. Hey, you hear the one about the screenwriter who passed away? He was giving elevator pitches, and the elevator got stuck halfway. He ended up eating smushed sandwiches they pushed through a crack in the door, repeating the same crappy screenplay idea about talking dogs till his last day. Hey, you hear the one about the fisherman who passed? He didn't jump off that ledge, he just stepped out of the air and pulled the ground towards him really fast. Like he was pitching a line and went fishing for concrete. The earth is a drum, and he's hitting it on beat. The reason there's smog in Los Angeles is that they can see the stars. They can see the context of the universe in which we exist, and they can understand how small we are against the vastness of what we don't know. No one would ever audition for a McDonald's commercial again. And then where would we be? No frozen dinners and no TV. And is that a world we want to text in? Either someone just microwave popcorn, I hear the sound of 1,000 people pulling their heads out of their asses in rapid succession. The people are hunched over in Boston. They're starting app stores and screen printing companies in San Francisco. They're grinning like they got fish hooks in the corner of their mouths in Los Angeles. But don't paint me like a good guy. Because every time I write, I get to choose the angle you view me with and select the nicest light. You wouldn't respect me if you heard the sound of the typewriter chattering, tap, tap, tapping through my mind at night. The sound of the same stupid tape loop dialogue and tattered memories of a girl I got to grind on in high school, filed carefully on rice paper. My heart is a colored pencil, but my brain is an eraser. I don't want a real girl. I want a tracer from a catalog. And truth be told, I'm unlikely to hold you down, because my soul is a crowded subway train, and people keep deciding to get on the next one that rolls through town. I'm joining the false movement in San Francisco. I'm hunched over and frowning in Boston, and I'm smiling like I got fish hooks in the corner of my mouth. And I'm celebrating on the weekends. Because there are 7,047,000,000 people on the planet, and I have the audacity to think I matter. And I know it's a lie, but I prefer it's the alternative. Because I got a tourniquet tied on my elbow, and I got a blunt wrap filled with compliments, and I'm burning it. You say go to sleep, but I've been bouncing off my bedroom wall since I was hecka small. We're every age at once and tapped inside ourselves like Russian nesting dolls. My mother is an 8-year-old girl. My grandson is a 74-year-old retiree whose kidneys just failed. And that's the glue between me and you. That's the screws and nails. We live in a house made of each other. And if that sounds strange, it's because it is. Someone please freeze time so I can run around turning everyone's pockets inside out. And remember, you didn't see shit.
Finally, here's Nani Anakalea Haleamau with A Mele for My Mother.
adore your mothers. Oh, there goes those hands. Well, it's been a long way. We found many obstacles that we went through. I was tired of always seeing Mom on the bed and always crying because bills never were paid and she never had enough money to at least just spend one single dime on anything. Till this day, I always thank her for all the wonderful things that she does. She is now working 2 jobs. Let's say she's busting her butt. But we're still smiling. We're still standing. Isn't that what we should take for granted? Isn't that what we all take for granted? Love is what matters the most and what we should cherish from here and on. So I took the time to go in my room and sing her or make her her own song. My family is struggling, but we try to make it through at least one day. We cry all through the night, wishing God would shine His light so bright. Help me, Lord, for each day that passes by. Wipe the tears from our eyes. Oh Lord, help me, Lord, for each day that passes by. Wipe the tears from our eyes. Oh Lord, oh we hug our mom so tight. We say, Mom, everything's gonna be alright. She stretches her hands up to the sky and says, help me, Lord, for each day that passes by. Wipe the tears from our eyes. Oh Lord, help me, Lord, for each day that passes by. Wipe the tears from our eyes. Oh Lord, I say He loves. I say He loves. Let me change the world today.
The next class that we'll be bringing up is Lucy Jones, Dr. Lucy Jones, and her Women's Studies.
Thank you. Women's Studies is only one of many social science classes. Chances are most of you have either had a class of psychology or women's studies. There's sociology classes. We have anthropology. Almost anything that you can mention comes under the heading of social science. So if you haven't had one of my classes, you will before you get out of here. My students in the Women's Studies class decided, because yesterday was World AIDS Day, and they have created a display over here, and every student in the class really has had something to contribute. They've made cookies, they've made banners, there's all kinds of things, and I've really worked at getting. So make sure you stop by the table, get a goodie bag, get your red ribbon, and I just want to thank the class for doing all the work that they've done.
Aloha mai kako. As time continues to pass us by, events are made and history is told. But what about her story? In the Women's Studies 151 class, we jumped into the past and took a look at events from a female's perspective. Many of you may not have been aware that yesterday was National AIDS Day. And so we, the 2015 Women's Studies students, would like to inform you and honor those who have struggled with AIDS. Statistical studies have shown that women have a higher chance of getting HIV than men. The reason for this is because they have a larger area that can get infected, and if they are exposed to HIV infected semen, it can stay in their vaginas for several days, which means the virus can be exposed longer.
And here is one of their stories. When we think of rape, we see dark alleys, hooded strangers, spiked drinks at a bar. Oftentimes, it is not. It was a guy I was dating in college. Someone that caught my eye in the back of class. Someone that I flirted with and continued to talk to for a couple of weeks. He locked me in his room for 4 hours. And I was too embarrassed and too afraid to say anything. 2.5 months later, there were signs, and in all honesty, it was a feeling I had in my gut. So I got checked, and that's when I found out. I decided to report him then, but by then it was too late. Nothing could be done to him, and in consequence, not much could be done in way of justice for me.
What is AIDS? AIDS, definition: a disease which there is a severe loss of the body's cellular immunity, greatly lowering the resistance to infection and malignancy. AIDS is a ticking time bomb. It's only a matter of time before you start counting down your last seconds. Tick, 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 gone. I know what you're thinking. It won't happen to me. But guess what? AIDS knows no race. AIDS spares no age. AIDS has no limits. When someone says they have AIDS, the first thought is, don't touch me. You cannot catch AIDS with the touch of their hands or the embrace of a hug. It is transmitted through body fluids such as semen, vaginal fluids, or blood from an infected person that gets into the body of someone who is not infected. HIV and AIDS-related deaths: 26,832,920 people, and still counting. That was someone's daughter, someone's father, someone's friend. You look at people with AIDS with negativity. Yes, it is a horrible thing to go through because it cost them their lives. Hate the disease, not the diseased. People don't think about the consequences of their actions. If it's out of sight, it's out of mind. The only risk is not knowing. Have you asked yourself lately, what are you doing in the war against AIDS? Stand up for the fight. Make your voice heard, because silence equals death. And that death had an unheard voice, the fear of mockery, a silent shame. The idea that being alone was the only option. What if you had AIDS?
I would help light the way. I would not let AIDS control my life.
I would still be human. I am only one, but I am one. I cannot do everything, but I can do something. And I will not let what I cannot do interfere with what I can do. Thank you.
So again, this is Richard Stevens' history class. I believe it consists of history 151, 152, as well as his personal history 274.
My name is Mackenzie. Nice to see you all. So this was an absolutely amazing semester. We all had so much fun, and something I really loved was our classes focus on creating our own personal history and using history from the past to shape us into becoming who we want to be in the future. So plus we learned about many cultures and places that we definitely wouldn't have known about before taking the class. So I loved every second, from learning with Dr. Stevens to learning from each other. But I think the way we learn to appreciate the things around us and also just to search deep within ourselves, I think that was far more valuable than any amount of facts ever could be. So yeah, I think that I'm gonna perform this song for you guys that I wrote. I was actually on my way to Dr. Stevens' class when I wrote this, and I hope you guys like it. It's just kind of a reflection of what I've been feeling all semester. You try to cover up all that's inside. It's time to face the fact that you can't hide the beauty within you any longer. It's time to stand up and know you are stronger than the things you face, than the things you fear. You've got here and now, so don't wait any longer. I can tell you there's a love that is true. I can tell you there's a love that sees you and that will always stay faithful. I can tell you there's a love that will provide. I can tell you there's a love that is alive. Oh, that will love you like you deserve to be loved. Oh, like you deserve to be loved. I can tell you there's a love that is true. I can tell you there's a love that sees you, that will always stay faithful. I can tell you there's a love that will provide. I can tell you there's a love that is alive. I can tell you there's a love that will love you like you deserve. I can tell you there's a love that is true. I can tell you there's a love that sees you and that will always stay faithful. I can tell you there's a love that will provide. I can tell you there's a love that is alive. I can tell you there's a God who will love you like you deserve, who will love you like you deserve to be loved.
Hi, my name is Michael Wong, and the class I'm representing today is History 274 with Dr. Stevens. And although I didn't really play any music in the class, it was a personal writing history, so I thought it'd be kind of apropos or fitting to play some songs from and styles from the people who have kind of influenced my music, like my first teachers. So the first song I'm going to do is from my first instructor, my grandpa, and the song he taught me. And then I go on to Herbo Jr., James Hill, and then finally more of a pop culture kind of influence. So here it goes.
Dr. Stevens' class 151. I thought hard about what song I'm going to do. I did Little Hawaiian Melee for him in the class. But I also thought about my daughter. I stayed with her at Stanford for 6 months before she had her bone marrow transplant. And I was sitting there and listening to a lot of jazz because we were at Stanford University during the transplant. So, and I really started fumbling around on my guitar and I came up with this. Oh, you never clear. Here we go. I'll do it easier. One, two.
Dr. Stevens' History 274. In that class, we wrote our own personal history, and by the end of this class, we had 30-page autobiographies all finished, and it was a great introspective experience. We visited very historical locations on the island, and this song is kind of inspired by history in general as well as my own personal history, so thank you.
We want to say mahalo to Cameron He and Chef Betty and the culinary team for providing the food, preparing the food, bringing the food. So I believe we have Portuguese bean soup and a bunch of different other pupus out there. So as you make your plate, enjoy the music, see the booths, get a plant before you leave, and we have a couple more prizes, so stick around, and between the songs maybe we'll draw some names or some numbers.
Well, I love music. I love music. Yeah. How's it going? I'm in the Hawaiian class in Monday, which she said even more. I hope to see you in 5 years to see where you take your career. Yeah.